Hello and welcome everyone, I'm Madals and this is a StarCraft 2 England cast. Now today guys, I've got game 1 of a best of 3 from the Zotac Cup. It is between ATSage, who is the yellow Protoss player in the top left. He's playing against, aka TSLRevival, the Teal Zerg in the lower right. The map is in Tomb Valley and I am so looking forward to this game. I love Revival, I've seen him play so often. I've cast so many of his games, specifically in the ATSage Attack tournament. Revival is so active in all of the online tournaments. It's absolutely crazy. When I was doing ATSage Attack when it was still running, obviously him and Hun were in pretty much every ATSage Attack and they won most of them as well, so pretty sick there. Now what can you expect from these two players? Fast Expand will be coming out from Sage. That's a pylon, that's on the low ground. That means that expansion is coming down early. Compare that to, of course, Revival, who basically has a couple of different options. Most likely, though, spawning pool of 14 to 15 into a quick hatch into a third base at about 4 to 5 minutes. The reason being is that allows him to keep up economically. The downside to that strategy are these rocks. Now, what those rocks basically cause is, of course, this area and this area to both be vulnerable. You can't just sit units up here and run back and forth to defend everything, and that can be slightly awkward for a Zerg, and while we may see potentially Revival go for something on a 2-base play, maybe a lot of aggression, but at the moment Sage, he shouldn't have too much of a trouble. It looks like he's going to probably try and wall off that way. That's probably the best suggestion to do. I think you can, if I can remember correctly, because you don't see this map too often, you can put a gateway in here and then basically wall off through this area. The other way to wall off, of course, is you could go straight across, but that's very wide, and I mean there's different things you can do, but forge before the Nexus, that's the important thing to note. Now Revival is scouting in the two wrong directions, unfortunately, but that's all good. He shouldn't have any too much of a hassle. His spawning pool is down, but that hatchery was first, and now this is exactly what you didn't want to see. These are pylons, the forge is now finished, and that means we could get cannons, and using that little bit of gap there to force the probe out. And well, basically now Revival has huge issues because that factory hatchery is probably going to go down. There's a second cannon right there, and now that second cannon even closer, but those drones may not actually be able to pick all of this off in time. Either way, look at the lost mining time. Huge amounts of mining time being lost here by Revival. A cannon comes down on the high ground as well. That is going to be so difficult to deal with, and this is a full-on cannon rush now, and either way, this is going to be just so hard to deal with. That pylon is just going to finish up in time, and then there's going to be 3 cannons down. 2 pylons are up and running, and well, to be honest, Revival, he is really going to have to pull out all of the stops to defend this. He needs to get Spine Crawler down very quickly. That would be his best strategy. But for the moment, Sage is in just such a good spot. He's got this completely shut down. He's got the natural base completely stopped. We could see some more cannons come up here, just preventing Revival from coming out of his base in the slightest. That would contain the Zerg opponent on 1 base, and to be honest, a 1-base Zerg is effectively useless. Now, what can Revival do to get out of this? He's got a couple of different options. He can get quite a few queens and Spine Crawlers, march them over and try and deal with it that way, because really, once this high ground cannon's gone, there's no vision for Sage, so he should be absolutely fine. The other option for Revival, of course, get the roach one, try and use roaches, or the third one, and one I particularly like, is that you could take up to lair very quickly, get a Nidus worm hidden down here, use your Overlord to gain vision over here, and then just go and attack your opponent, and frankly they will not be able to deal with that, and that can be really awesome, and it looks really cool as well. Quite a lot of players forget about the Nidus worm and just how effective it can be, but for the moment Sage, not overcommitting, not building anything else on this high ground up here, looking back at his own base. He's got the gateway coming up, the forge up, the Nexus is on its way down as well. What's the work count like? 17 to 22 in Sage's favour, but he has committed an awful lot of resources up here. Well, let's just take a quick look. 300, 450, 550, 650 minerals have been committed to this, and damage done. He's, well, just delayed an expansion for a little bit and contained his opponent. Now, behind this, we will see the Revival is just happily droning away. That probe poking forward, just seeing what's going on, making sure that, basically seeing, are there lots of spines being built, are there lots of anything, but the lair on its way down, oh my god, I hope this is going to be a Nidus. Literally, nothing would make me happy. Niduses are just awesome. You've got to love them. The second gas coming down, this is all a very interesting strategy, and Sage probably getting slightly nervous, actually, thinking, hang on, this isn't quite right. He hasn't attacked me. Either I'm getting stupidly ahead, which he is in workers, or something bad's going to happen and I've missed something. But if we look, of course, at Sage's vision, he hasn't really looked around very much at all, so he could in theory have missed something. And if we compare that to Revival's seen an awful lot. Now, that queen apparently is wanting to kill itself, which is a bit of a shame. Queens don't die for nothing. Stargate on its way down. How will that get used? Again, switching into this transition is quite good, because obviously if you get a Phoenix or a Void Whale or something up around here, it gives vision of the high ground, allowing those cannons to be even better. So that probe is coming down to scale. We'll see the lair. That's the important thing. We'll see the roach one as well. But amazingly, that probe looks like it is going to get out alive. That really is a miracle. 2 cannons there. That queen will have to go away. The roaches, they're looking to poke and prod forward. Roach speed is coming down now. This is going to be interesting. It will all depend how well Revival does push through those cannons. But the Stargate nearly finished up. A lot of Zerglings on the way down. They can soak up some damage. That probe will finally get taken down. But now we do have a Zealot coming down as well. That Zealot going to be poking. We do have a Stalker coming up behind that. That Zealot gets taken down very quickly though, but gets a good scout. The Nidus network coming down. Oh my god, this game is just so awesome. That single Stalker going to take quite a bit of damage and will reveal all of this push coming now. That cannon getting taken down exceptionally fast there by Revival. And now with no vision of the high ground, those roaches can just happily pick stuff off. Doesn't want to be losing those Zerglings to anything though. And now where is it? I'm sure I heard that. No, it's not done yet. For a second I thought, nope, it's no Nidus, but for the moment we've got vision pretty much everywhere. So Revival could have some problems, those 2 cannons taken down. We do now have Revival supply block though, because something took out an Overlord. It was indeed that Void Wave. That one Void Wave. The skill array, as Day9 would say. And well, here we go. We've got Overlords going down. Overlords going down is never fun times. The Nidus network is finished, but is there anything granting vision? I unfortunately think the answer is no. Oh dear. No vision. So anyway, we do have down the natural. The natural coming down at a very normal time of 9 minutes 30. If you're the lowest of low bronze league, that is when you may genuinely see your expansion. But we do have here 44 to 24 workers. Sage is so far ahead economically. He's got his natural base up and running. He's getting 4 gas. Just look at that difference in the income, both gas and minerals. But for the moment, we've got Voidways. Voidways, as those of you who will know, especially those who have ever been killed by Voidways, are ridiculously overpowered units. But we do have Nidus incoming. We do have 3 cannons and quite a few sentries. The force fields and the cannons are going to be so strong. And in terms of anti-air, there was a grand total of 1 queen. But the Nidus is out. Here come all of the roaches. Super fast population over here. And well, we've got a great wave of force fields coming down. We do have the Void Wave pulling back, but we do have a proxy pilot on the way down as well now. And there is the GG. Revival knows that he cannot do anything about that. An amazing play by Sage. And really, just why you don't go hatch first against Protoss. So guys, that was game 1. Switch over to my channel to see game 2. But before you go, please like, subscribe, and leave a cool comment. See you in a second game 2. Bye for now.